Hello everyone, this is Chris, and I gotta say, after playing around so much with the 1.18 generation, it's kind of gotten me in the mood to work on my own generation. To be more specific, I want to work a little bit on my terraining that I've been working on in between episodes. You can see I have been laying out just a little bit more, doing just a little bit more work, and yeah, after seeing all mountains and playing around with all new mountains and stuff, I'm kind of in the mood to work more on my mountain right here. But if we're going to work on this mountain at all, then we should probably do at least a little bit of dirt grinding. And hey, this dirt grinding is actually paying off way more than expected. This almost definitely won't be enough to do what I want to do, but it should be at least enough to do a good decent amount of it. Now, the way I do most of my terraining is I build pretty much right next to one of these stretches I already made, and if I see I'm getting close to a corner, then what I normally do is I have one block down, 1 or 2 blocks down, and then I go up and up and up and on, and sometimes I have it be the same layer, but for the most part I have it be a block or 2 down, and then I go up all the way up, and then when I get to the top, I rinse and repeat. I come all the way back down, and then I do it over and over and over again until we actually meet up with the other side. Now that we have this corner of the mountain pretty much done, what does it actually look like? And if we turn around, yeah, I think, you can't really tell with, like, the big opening and gaps right now, but I think so far we are heading in the right direction. Even though it's, slightly floating right now, which, obviously will get fixed. My big concern is how am I going to connect the scaffolding I did down there all the way up here, because this almost doesn't look like it's gonna connect. I'm sort of worried that it's not actually going to fit in. Well, there's only one way to know for sure. Jeez, was that hard to do. I didn't fill in literally every single bit of it, but I mainly filled in where the cobblestone pathway is, and that was very difficult. And yeah, I did mark it out completely wrong, which is why I sort of tried having it hang off a little bit, but yeah, very, very difficult. But we do have the other side of where the bridge is going to be to work on now, which I'm sure it won't be as hard as the side we just worked on. I'm sure it'll be miles easier, right? Actually, something came to me which is miles more important than that stupid old terraforming. We have to finish the bedroom. We have to finish what we started last episode, but didn't quite finish. Because you can't have a mountain without a bedroom, right? Don't look too far into that statement, but let's get to work. About an hour or 2 later, we managed to build the entirety of the interior of this bedroom. And I wanted this room to feel very, I guess, comfortable, which is why we have plenty of different types of, I guess, carpets right here. We have banners around the bed, which, I can never remember what these are called on the bed, and oops, let's just remember never to, punch anywhere around the bed. I've spread candles out pretty much everywhere so that everything is completely lit up, including this really big chandelier in the center, and over here I have pretty much a little, I guess, desk over here, or whatever, with all my relics and things that I've picked up. First off being my first ever pig step disc in survival. Next up, a creeper head, which I got from a charged creeper. And then the very first oak log, which I got from the last season, and then brought it over to this season. And I really wish I just knew what I did here to make it feel so furnished inside here for the rest of the rooms in this castle. But when you go outside the doors, it's kind of floating right now, and not connected to anything really, so we are going to have to work on that eventually. But I swear there was something else I wanted to do today, but I just can't remember what it is. Maybe it was gathering up all the crafting tables around my base? This is a lot of crafting tables I just left around my base. Maybe I could use one of these rooms as just a place where I collect all my crafting tables and just put them in one place. This room's gonna be overflowed by crafting tables by the time the season ends, and I'm calling it now. I can maybe go over and pick up Ch2 and bring him them over to the castle base. Your new home awaits, Ch2. I could get rid of this bed and maybe this little diorite AFK spot because I don't need it anymore. We could get rid of this small 2x2 furnace super smelter while we're at it. We can deoxidize this smiley face. Fill in these random gaps of stone bricks. Ride a boat down the waterfall. This will probably be fine, right? Totally 100% fine. You know, maybe it's best if I add a slightly bigger pool of water down the bottom. Or maybe I could do what I've been slightly putting off so far. Okay, fine. We will do this now. We will try making it work. My big worry is that because I did manage to make, I guess this mountain so far, what I did here so far was just, I guess, making it curve around a little bit. Even though, like, you know, it's unnatural, no symmetry, anything like that. I feel like I can do something like this. I feel just that much more worried about connecting a cavern from one part to another. I don't know why, but it kind of just scares me right now. It scares me the fact that I could get this totally and completely wrong and have to destroy it all, rebuild it, but you know what? You never know what's gonna happen if you don't at least try it. So I guess we better just hop into it. Let's just do it. Let's just hope for the best. I think the best place to start is to be just laying out sort of the groundworks and the frameworks as to where the bottom of it will be. But this time, let's make sure we are far enough inwards that we don't have this sort of awkward part where we have to build up and in. We haven't laid out the full layout of what this second part of the mountain's going to be, but I think it's just laid out enough so that we have a rough idea as to what it'll look like. But now for the scary part, now actually starting to try and connect everything up with the pathway we have up there. And I think the best place to start is, I guess, as close to the edge part of the cobblestone as we possibly can get. That way we can base pretty much everything else off of what we have right here. I remember saying at the beginning of this episode that I was looking forward to terraforming, and now that I'm actually doing the actual hard bits of it, I'm actually sort of sick, and I'm sort of super stressed as to how it's going to look. You never really think as to how much one opinion can change in just a few minutes' time. And what do you know, my opinion has changed yet again for terraforming. After that bridge incident style thing, I worked on this for a couple hours, and I'm really having a good time actually just placing in a whole bunch of dirt. Because if we fly ourselves down here, then we look back around, we could see, yeah, it's actually forming into something that looks like what it looked like inside my mind, and it's actually kind of looking pretty good. So far, so good. Though there isn't quite as much grass as I'd like on this side, but I'll get there eventually. And speaking of catching up on things later, I will eventually get back to work on this side, probably later in the episode, but for now, I kind of want to just fill in these two really big gaps I just left open for some reason. I think I wanted to just get the two bridge parts, the two complicated bits done, and then focus on other things. So yeah, now that we have done that, let's actually fill in these really big gaps we have. Several hours of dirt placing later, and we have the majority of what the mountains will be like in between these big canyons right here. And yeah, it feels so natural right now. It feels like something you would expect to see, like, generate inside of a world or something like that. My favorite view is, like, right down at the bottom, just looking right the way this way, because you could just imagine what the rest of the mountain will actually look like, and just looking down this huge canyon area, it just... I don't know, I just absolutely love looking down it. It just looks so cool. But we are far from done with the terraforming today, because there's plenty of other types of things I want to do. Because the original idea was sort of to have the bottom of this be just completely dry, just completely like a just a little small, I guess, grassy patch field right there. But then I thought maybe that would be a little bit too dull, because there's so much of it all the way up here too. So what if we were to try to incorporate some water, kind of like how we did over here, but like just just different enough over here. Like, what if just right here where the two mountains disconnect, what if we have like sort of a decent-sized lake right here, flowing its way down this one canyon right here, and then maybe down over that way, which can link over to the other water we already placed. And then we could have this one go all the way down, down, and down, all the way linking up to where the bottom of this waterfall will actually be, where, by the way, there will be also another really big lake down here, so, yeah, then there could be a pretty, significant water feature of this one base, sort of a natural landscape style waterfall, but still plenty of water features just to break up most of the terrain. And I guess the first thing we should do is just to lay out the groundworks for this mega lake, just so we have an idea as to how big and how I guess extraordinary this thing will actually be. I think big and extraordinary could be the same thing, but oh well, we can use it for two different terms this time. Layout of the lake's in place, and if we fly to the sky, we'd see, yeah, it's not going to be the biggest lake in the world. I'm not planning on it to be the biggest lake in the world. It just needs to be bigger than, I guess, most of these other smaller streams we're going to be having around the place, and I think what we did there is, it's big enough. And now all we have to do is just fill this entire thing in with dirt, and then we can start flooding it with water. And this lake we're going to have right here is only going to be 1 block deep, mainly because it looks like it could also be, freezing up here, so I do want to have at least that little bit of space which we could have underneath the water where we can, I don't know, put some lights under there or put some carpets or something which will keep it from freezing over. That's why it's only going to be 1 block deep down. Having filled this entire area with dirt, let's actually get to starting to, I guess, flood the area. And I think ideally it's best if we start lower down and then work our way up, and then we could just actually have full water sources heading all the way down it. So I don't know if there's any not technological, but any technical reasons why we should have that, but I think just for peace of mind, it's best having everything filled in. And immediately we've come up with the problem. There's ice forming here. This isn't a good thing. There's ice forming. We're gonna have to find a way to keep that from happening up here. Now that all the water so far is in place, what does this actually look like going down? And well, not as ideal as I would have liked with all the ice forming into place, but you kind of get the idea as to what I'm trying to do, having water sort of flow its way down, down, and down until it reaches the main ground level down there. But how am I going to stop all this ice from forming? I could, for now, place some torches on the side to at least slow it a little, but there's gotta be something I could do that could be a slightly more permanent change. I think I've just had an idea. What I could do for at least some parts of it is kind of like what we did up there and just place a whole bunch of moss carpets, because I think that's one of the things that actually stops things from forming on top of it, because, you know, there's already a block on top there. So maybe if I don't think we could do all of it. I don't think this is going to be a change that'll fix every single thing that'll keep all ice from forming, but I think if we place down enough, it shouldn't be quite as bad. After looking through my options and consulting with some of the other cosmics, I think I have some solutions. I can add a few sea pickles here and there to slow some of the ice spread. Along with that, maybe a few glow lichens just here and there around the place. Another thing I could do is make it so we don't have completely full source blocks all over the place. And while trying to fix the ice problem, my idea was to have everything I placed down there in moderation, you know, not too many lichens, not too many pickles or anything, until I realized that, doing that wouldn't work. There'd still be ice there spawning in somewhere, which means that, the only real way I could think of actually fixing it was to just, spam, lichens pretty much everywhere. And looking at it from right here, which is where the, ideal place is going to be when looking down at it, you can't really notice it. You can only notice it really when you're really coming in close, and, yeah, lots and lots and lots of lichens. Good thing I had a whole bunch of spare bone blocks all around the place, but yeah, at least the ice issue is solved. And when I was working on the waterway down here, I kind of had the realization about the bridge. Now, the original idea was it was going to originally sort of be a Y shape going straight the way down, all the way down to the bottom with a long pole, but then I thought that might disrupt the waterway I have now, so what if instead I sort of had arches leading from somewhere around the center, leading out, linking into the mountain somehow. You know, explaining something like this is surprisingly difficult, so how about I actually just build it and then explain it afterwards. There we go. This is kind of what I mean. We're sort of going up and in, sort of like it's holding itself up, and if we fly ourselves out and back in, like what we've done a billion times this episode, we could see, yeah, that fits in way, way better without obstructing the waterway we're going to have down here. And honestly, it just connects the two landmarks we're going to have here with it. That bridge right there certainly does connect things way, way better than what we have right here, where it's just completely floating on its end. So maybe we should fix that now. Maybe that should be the next bit of terraforming we do now. At least that was the plan until I completely ran out of dirt. But geez, what we did today already? Wow. Wow. I love everything we did today. Every single block we placed just adds up to make something that looks just incredible, just something that looks absolutely phenomenal. If we hop up on some scaffolding really quick to see the water lake and everything too, ooh, this is a really good angle. You know, I might actually have this as the thumbnail. If you try to ignore the very hard edge over there and you just have it be around about here, then yeah, this looks phenomenal. This looks absolutely phenomenal. Can you tell that I'm proud about what we've done today? Can you tell that I am very, very happy about what we managed to accomplish? If you haven't, then yeah, I'm very, very happy about what we managed to do today. And not only that, we still have several more terraining blocks and things we're going to have to place at some point in the future, because obviously we have this very big opening gap and the gap around the castle and things like that. But what we've done today just marks the opportunity as to what the rest of the base will eventually look like, and I am so looking forward to seeing what it will eventually end up looking like. But yeah, for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later.